What's the word, Chicago? It's your boy Don Derrick from South Island Brand, and who we here with today?
DJ John West.
Bro, I'm not gonna lie, it's a long-awaited interview, man. I feel like a lot of people I come across, they somehow know you. When I met you, it was very much event curator, DJ, music connoisseur. I'm like, look at this dude, he do everything. So I want to start off with asking, why DJing?
Yeah. Why DJing? Trying to figure that out for myself recently. But so I started DJing like 11 years ago. My dad bought me my first DJ controller. I was in 8th grade. He bought it for me purely on some like entrepreneurial shit. He wanted me to make some money with it. Mm-hmm. So I did that. Did it for a few years. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like for my first 3 years I was trash. Like just trying to fade songs in. I didn't really learn the art of DJing at first, honestly, until I went to college. I would DJ a lot of stuff in my high school, like our homecomings and stuff. But even then, I feel like I didn't know how to DJ. I knew how to play music. I didn't know how to DJ. You know, makes sense. So when I went to college, I was actually able to pick up through teaching other people. I learned how to sync with music a little bit more myself. So I learned like the DJ theory. So like being able to count music on beat, blend music, try different techniques and transitions. And that's when I really like fell in love with like DJing. So the art of like reading the crowd. I feel like DJing for me is about being in dialogue with your audience. You know what I mean? So that's what I learned that in college. And in college I was like DJing low-key all the time, every week. To hundreds of people. And it kind of like changed my perspective a little bit on music. And I was like, I started to see it as like art. At first it was just business, but I really feel like the last 3 years I've been moving towards trying to channel it as art a little bit more. Yeah, that kind of answers the question.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
With talking about the business and art, why do you feel like a lot of artists struggle with the business part of art?
I don't know. It's different for me, bro, because I started with the entrepreneurship, so I had to learn how to do those things first.
Gotcha.
Then apply it to the DJing. But I feel like for me, especially now that I've leaned more onto it being art, the entrepreneurship kind of like in business, having to pimp out your art kind of makes it really hard to one, stay consistent, but to also like do it for you. I've kind of like, in my opinion, lost sight of who I am as a DJ because I'm constantly using my art to cater to multiple crowds. I've done rock bars, I've done weddings, showcases and stuff like that, but it's kind of hard sometimes to find like where I am in it. So I do think that. I also think the consistency that the business culture requires is not very easy for many artists to channel. Most artists I know, a lot of them quit their jobs mostly because they don't like the machine-based aspect of it. Like they rather, the thing about art, it's supposed to be free flowing, but like once you make it a business, you don't have a choice. You got a deadline to meet, you got taxes, especially if you do it for real. You got taxes to file. You basically, you're a business. You have to make revenue if you want to survive. So I think that can be a little bit hard and intimidating. That and so much lack of funding supports for artists, I think, is a big part of why the business support side is not hard. It's not many people trying to pay artists to just do their thing without having a product that they in. You know what I mean? So it's kind of that. Shoot, when I talk to my kids about it, it's kind of like that commodification of yourself. That's what business requires, and I feel like artists that drains us having to sell your product. You know what I mean? Rather than like recognize that we are the art. And, what was the quote? Oh, so I was with DJ 2 days ago for the Inglewood Arts Collective, and their director, her name's Janelle, but she said a quote, even if you don't think you're an artist, you wake up every day and create the life that you live. And I was like, that started to really get me to think about art differently. I'm like, everyone is an artist, and I do know that, but I never thought about life being the art and how that kind of like changes the art. So now, I don't know, I've been going through a rough patch, but I feel like I broke out of it the last week, out of that headspace, because I've been surrounded by a lot of the people that I love, and it's made it a lot easier to create again. You know what I mean?
Speaking on being surrounded by people that you love, I noticed, I mentioned it a little earlier when we first started this video, that you're a curator. I like to say you're a curator of vibes, you're a curator of family, you're a curator of faith. Every time it's an event that you do, it's one of those things where it can be somewhere I've never been before, and I'm like, yo, this shit is familiar, because I'm seeing familiar faces. I'm hearing familiar music that, you know, adds to the space. How do you feel about, a lot of people speak highly of you, and how do you feel about just the love that you receive in these communities?
Oh, I love it, bro. I feel like, so I tell my friend all the time, I feel like I'm on my third life. My first life was high school, DJ John. College was a whole different place. I lived in California for a while. And third has brought a whole new, being in the underground scene in Chicago, I've been introduced to a whole new bunch of people. The thing about music, it kind of like lures people to you a little bit. Art and creative space curation, all of that kind of like does that. And I love the relationships because it has allowed me to elevate and create new concepts and kind of like riff off each other, working with the homies. So many, mostly started with Jalen, the Light Beam.
Indeed.
Like thinking about, he's really big on like bringing in as many people so people can use art as an outlet for themselves. And I kind of like really tried to walk with that and channel that a little bit more to curate spaces for artists to be themselves. And I will also put in money in people's pockets because I feel like the biggest thing, and for me at least, I'm really trying to create an artistic structure for the South Side that isn't as predatory as the system is. So I'm really trying to get people paid as much as I can while also shuffling through different vibes. And lately it's been a little bit harder even because I'm like trying to make sure the vibes match what I'm giving. You know, you can't, I've learned through the open mic space, you can't bank on everybody because some people was rapping about some shit that don't align. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to juggle and balance that. But back to the question, I really love the relationships. I've learned Chicago has so many worlds, and I'm sure you see it as a photographer too. But as a DJ, getting invited into all those different worlds, you get to meet so many people. So most recently, I've been clicking up with SOS Militia, that's Journey and Trey and all of them. I started, when I first hit home, it was more about the Fortune House clique, which I think niche, we'll call it that. I learned that there was like a niche for Bronzeville and Hyde Park that was like really closely knit, and that was the first set of relationships that I was able to build, and through that I was able to kind of like lead to the Black Room, which brought in new people, and kind of like, so it really depends. I like to migrate around the different artist niches, and it's teaching me a lot about how the city operates too, to be honest, bro.
That's amazing. You mentioned getting artists paid. That is one thing that I can say differentiates you from other events and other creatives. You prioritize getting people paid because a lot of people feel as if, you know, people that are non-artists or non-creatives, they feel like art is easy a lot of times, and it is not. You're either visually, audibly, or physically showing somebody you. You're placing yourself in this world, and I feel like it's very important. And I just want to, give you your flowers for even, just showing the importance of that, showing the importance of artists and what they choose to do, and just supporting their dreams, bro. Because I'm pretty sure you've given people their first performances. And that's great. Like you gotta think about that, bro. In a couple years, when these people are big and famous, they're gonna be like, "Yo, DJ John West put me on stage. He got me paid. Now I'm doing this for real." You know?
Yeah, that's how it is working with Youngin. He always reminded me, I'm like, "No, bro, it started with you and putting me on that Don't Be Shy feature." I'm like, "Nah, you was already great before." You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So that's what it's about to me. Really, just trying to tap into that talent. And this next year, I'm really trying to think about, okay, I want to mix up some shows. You know what I mean? Because I took a break. I stopped doing shows. It wasn't that long of a break in August. But that, for me, that was a long break because I tend to be hitting every month. But now I'm trying to rebrand and see how I can do less with more. So like less shows, but more intentional with the times that I'm in sets that I'm curating and the ideas that I have. So something I'm thinking about. But yeah, no, I appreciate that, bro. It's hard out here. I'm sure you know. For an artist, it's hard out here. But for a curator, it's really hard because I've learned you can't bank on the money. You just got to do it. And it'll come back in other ways. I've learned the investment. But I really enjoy doing shows. But this next year for me is about bringing in different collectives. I really want to collab well and collab so everyone gets paid. You know what I mean? Yeah. I pay people, but it don't really come back. Ticket sales in Chicago is very iffy because people will pay, but they also will get over on you if you don't have somebody ask them to pay. Man.
No, that's fact.
And not on those slick shit. You ain't asked. They not
so, bro. And sometimes people and people have to be very serious about getting their money. Like if you're putting out a service, you can't be timid. You have to go for what you want.
DJ,
you want that, literally, bro.
Niggas will try to rob you.
Man,
I'm like, why I gotta ask
can you do
you
this
for my
free?
money?
Can you do this for free real quick? No, I can't. This is time.
I don't know. Lately, I'm sure as a photographer, you know, you ain't giving out no free.
But look,
I'm like,
think about it. You're a
you
photographer too.
Yeah.
And you being a multi-hyphenate artist, I see I deal with the same problem of like sometimes I feel like I'm giving too much to one piece of art, or not giving enough to another piece of art. So how do you feel about that?
Ooh, yeah. That's probably the thing I'm telling you, like really kicking my ass. Cause I'm like, I've been so hyper focused on DJing, I haven't been doing as much photography, but it's allowed me to shift that hobby entirely. So I told you I started as an entrepreneur. Shout out Saba, I call myself an entrepreneur. But I've moved photography out of that. Like I'll do it for friends on a cost basis.
Understood.
But I think I've taken the money out of that hobby so that I can just do that when I want to do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I can pick up the cameras that our friends shows and shit like that. That's a little bit more fun for me, rather than always trying to turn over a profit. And even post this, like you know this, having a archive of thousands of photos the world will never see.
Never
you know what I mean? So really just trying to lean into those a little bit more. Like I know I want to elevate, and I'm like, DJing feels a real stagnant for me right now. I'm like, okay, that's consistent, but now I need some more stimulation. So I'm really trying to figure out how I can move into maybe like a film world. You know what I mean? Because I do have a background in media studies. I took a lot of media studies colleges and classes in college, but I haven't gotten to use that part of my brain yet. And with art, it's kind of like if you don't use it's like a language. If you don't use it, you lose it. You feel me? So I've really been trying to move towards that because I really want to do like film sound production. Like I listen to so much music. I'm like, how can I take this music thing and put it into different aspects? Like, so I'm working with Trash Talk for this next year, so we can do a documentary and I can score it. Like, you know what I mean? It would be fun to do shit like that.
That's fire.
So, but it's really hard being a multi-hyphenate artist. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like New Year's is very important for me. When trying to like set up new traditions to make sure I'm on point. Last year, I feel like I was hitting the ground hard until like May. Well, I hit January to August, but I kind of got a little burnt out. So I'm trying to figure out how to balance that a little bit more with all these hobbies. Because like I'm a poet, I want to write. I'm a photographer and a cinematographer, so I want to use my camera to capture memories, right? But I also want to DJ more, and DJing has led me to produce it, which is a whole different skill. And trying to combine those two is a whole different thing, you know what I mean? So it's a lot. It's really a time balance thing. And me too, I work a lot too, bro.
Yeah, I was just gonna speak on that. You mentioned, teaching and the kids that you teach. How is that with being an artist and being also somebody that's creating the next artist?
Yeah, bro, I'm trying to find that balance more because I'm not naturally an artist educator. I'm an educator. So my background is in Black Studies, and I teach a class called Black Thoughts to Singers. It's kind of like a capstone course. But I try a capstone course where they write a 15-page paper about a topic of their choice to help prepare them for college. And it's cool, but I'm trying to figure out ways to like feed their souls more because I'm like, I'm teaching so much history, so much writing, but where's there time for me to actually like dialogue with these people? So I've kind of shifted a little bit in the last 2 months with being a little bit less heavy on assignments because I'm a very big grader, very rigorous instructor, but I'm trying to feed them their souls a little bit more. So we do a lot of writing prompts in class. We'll do a lot of turn and talks. We'll socialize. Sometimes lately I've been giving them work days where we kind of like they can just talk to me. It's kind of like a hot seat moment for teachers, but it's really fun seeing that this next generation. I have had so many artists, especially a lot of drawers. Like I see my kids in class all the time, the doodles in the notebooks. I have a couple poets, and I have some of them, they're not like us. They don't want to pimp out their arts. They actually want to keep it to themselves and just do that for them. So it's very interesting seeing them and trying to foster into that. That's also an outlet I'm trying to work on. I'm like, how can we get to for me, the 15 to 21-year-olds a little bit more? Because now I'm 25. I guess I'm old. I'm getting into that. How can we build the infrastructure for the
you still young, bro.
Yeah,
but no, I understand what you're saying. The people that's coming up, how can we support them the way we're supporting each other?
Bro.
I understand that.
We got to keep it going. Otherwise,
man. You speak on being intentional with your shows, right? Yeah. One thing I have to mention, like I'd be dumb if I didn't mention this. You was on stage with Youngin at the Reggie's, right? Now I'm hearing you DJ. I'm hearing him spit. And then I start hearing little samples in the background, right? explain to me, because I already know, but I want you to explain to the people that's watching right now. How was that moment? What was going on? Explain how that came about.
Yeah, that was interesting for me. So Youngin tapped me because he wanted to do a show at Reggie's. It wasn't our first time doing a show together, but it was our first time was low-key a month or not even a month, but we did a show with Kari on We, and we just to
Shout
test
out
things
him.
out. So I was able to scratch. We was able to flip a song in the middle of his performance. But Youngin's allowing me to like scratch more and to like feeling like real hip hopish. You know how DJ all MCs require a DJ. He's been challenging that a lot more for me. And once he put a live band, I was like, okay. It forced me to Youngins. I felt like it forced me to step back. He said, no, technically you were in charge of the whole production, if you want to be honest. I didn't see it like that. I would just be trying to feed in the most hip hop and R&B vibes and just hearing his raps and listening to the words and figure out, okay, what makes sense here. So that's been a lot of fun for me. I would love to do that with a lot more artists, because I feel like it could be easy to be like, oh, now you that person's DJ. But I'm like, no, I want to help all the homies by flipping stuff like that. Like, and I also think it makes them stronger. So it's not enough to like feed into with these shows. I gotta in these shows try to push them as a DJ. I'm like, you gotta remember your words.
Yeah.
If I don't care if I drop your original track and throw in a sample. You should keep going.
Know, indeed.
You know what I mean?
Oh, bro, it shouldn't throw you off.
Trying to do that shit too, and actually like make them stronger as artists. And I'm like, as a DJ, trying to figure out how to do that. It's fun too. I'm not gonna lie, but loving what we doing with Youngin. It's so much more. We had another show on the 27th, but I got booked.
It's all
so
good.
We're gonna pull back this next year because I'm trying to push him to also just drop more music. You know what I mean?
He's extremely talented, bro. He's extremely talented.
I don't know what role I want right now because I'm like, I want to build out a project, but I feel like I gotta produce a little bit more. But my homies are telling me, I'm like, you can just find the producer, find the track, tell them to write about something and curate it in that way. So I'm thinking about trying to do something like that too, because I do want to do like a mentorship role. And I learned that with Youngin. When he just be picking my brain sometimes and we just talk about like promo and stuff, I'm like, I would really like to help people do that stuff. If I could take this art full time, which I can, I'd love to do some more I'm learning about A&R too. I'm like doing some of that stuff for Chicago. So like, it's not enough to okay, we got the show infrastructure. Now how can we actually build the recording, the collective, kind of like that Wu-Tang family style rap. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
For the city. Because it's so hard, though, because it be beef, it be relationship shit, it be so much going on and so many clicks. But I'm really trying to channel that. And I don't know, maybe it's a label that'll come up in like 3 years, but I'm trying to figure out how can I make this a tangible space on the south side of Chicago, you know what I mean? So, working on that, for sure. So in 3 years when this video, I'm like, yeah, he told you he's finna open up a studio.
Hey, come on, we need to see it. And I feel like that all falls in line with the Don't Be Shy series that you have. Just the fact that you're curating, you're placing these artists together. That all, like, I know you mentioned before that sometimes artists might not fit that realm that you're creating, but bro, that's pretty good. That shit is like, you feel me, right neck and neck. When I slid to the Black Room, bro, every artist you had there, it was people I haven't heard before, and I left knowing them. Like, okay, for sure, your music is on Apple Music. I got you. I'm playing this. It's on the story now. How do you feel about introducing people to music and artists?
What I was saying, niggas in Chicago really don't like listening to music that's not popular. And I feel like that's what makes our underground culture so much stronger, too, to be honest, though. Because it's like, they not focused on what's popular. Like, you know, in Chicago, all you hear in the club, Sexy Red, G Herbo, Lil Baby. And I'm like, I'm really trying to push people's ears. Because Chicago, we got so much culture, you know what I mean? And I learned that through roller skating. That's when I really found out Chicago had a music culture that was like Donny Hathaway, Curtis Mayfield, Minnie Riperton, Shaka Khan, a lot more. Some of my favorites are more like David Hollister.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
for sure.
You know what I mean? Even the people that's not from here, like Chicagoans, like Raheem Devon. So people, like we've claimed some artists as our own.
We've claimed Smino.
You know what I mean?
Like,
he from here, according to Google.
Hey, shout out Google, on bro.
But I'm really trying to put people on to newer sounds before they blow up, because they definitely gonna blow up. Chicago got so much talent. And I'm like, I don't know. I also watch a lot of videos, and they're talking about it ain't about blowing up no more. It's about just, at this rate, it's so many artists. Just do you. You know what I mean?
Literally.
So that's what I'm trying to do for myself. Figure out what does doing me look like.
That's amazing to hear, bro. I'm ready to see what all you have to come in 2026. You know, shit, me, the brand, you got a whole village behind you, bro. And I hope you know that. I know you probably know that, but like it's great to hear it. One thing I want to ask you about is most DJs, they sometimes have stage names, right? With your DJ name being your name, how did that come about?
Yeah.
How important is it to just have your name? Like how is that? How's that feeling?
It's, I don't know if all artists go through this, but I was wrestling with my DJ name for a long time. I settled on DJ John West, I want to say only like 2 years ago. And it's because people are always talking about, from a marketing standpoint, people were like, it has a nice ring to it. You go, and people don't ever just say my name. Even when I go back in my high school, those are like, even my students, you can't just say John. You got to say John West. So that's what ended up. I used to go by DJ John. Now I'm really emphasizing the DJ John West part a lot. I wrestled a lot with Tristo about, okay, what do you want to turn into the brand? Do you want to be the brand, or do you want the brand to be something else? And I'm like, either way, you going to be the brand. You know what I mean? Because the art, it's in the word artist. You know what I mean? So we live that brand whether we want to or not. So I don't feel the need to like separate it and create that separate persona. Kind of like what you see is me, you know what I mean, and who I am at that time. Because you can go to two separate gigs for me, and they might be two completely different vibes, but they're both me. You know what I mean?
Indeed.
So I really like that. Is DJ John West. Now I'm just trying to figure out what else can I do with this brand.
Gotcha.
Like how else can I elevate it? Like I told you, bring in more high schoolers to that crowd. I plan on throwing open mics for my high schooler around in the Hyde Park area, so that we can also like tap those other schools too for artists, stuff like that. I want to do more collaborations because it's too hard to try to pull these shows off by myself. How can I bring in print culture? How can we get magazines? How can I bring in journalists a little bit more? And how can I create the ecosystem that I want to see for the city a little bit more? So for me, the brand ain't. It's my name, but it ain't really about me. I'm really community minded. The technical brand is Southwest Entertainment LLC. So now I'm really trying to grow that and like, okay, what are the pillars of this? This is the business mind, I guess. But what are the pillars? What is this business trying to do? And I've narrowed that down a little bit more. But I'm like, now how can I bring other people in so that I can build out our program a little bit more specifically and intentionally, like I said. So that's what I'm working on right now. Today even, I'm like, damn. I was looking at my business goals. I'm like, oh, well, you did not do that at all this year. You know what I mean? Even simple shit. Like I was trying to grow revenue this year. That didn't happen. But I did end up making so many more impactful connections this year in the underground scene. So I'm really trying to leverage these relationships a lot more, bro. Because I'm like, I really want more money from this shit. Keep it a buck. Like, for me and for everybody else. Because I really want to grow it to a point where we could travel. Like, still Wu-Tang style. Like, what happens if we go to different cities and do the same thing and work with their people? You know what I mean? So that's where I am right now. Really reflective period. Trying to think about how I want Southwest Entertainment to grow. What do I want DJ John West to play his role? Part of me, like, I want to do it all. Like, I want the clubs. I want the art underground. But I also want to start doing art shows, art exhibits. Using spaces like Jasir and Fortune House a little bit more. So like, how can I elevate these spaces? And I was always thinking about I was even thinking about how can I use the Black Room a little bit more. Like use these spaces that people love and like turn them into something different. I don't want any event this year for people to be like, I want each one to be different than something that they saw last time.
Yeah.
But yeah, you got me at a good time because I'm really throwing shit against the wall right now.
Hey, look at God. Look at God. And one thing that I want to emphasize with these interviews, they're for the artists that we're interviewing. So like, bro, we know, dude, you're already that dude, you know, and it's going to continue to get bigger and better for you. And we want this interview to be something that you can look back on and be like, I did this. Yeah. So with that being said, I want to ask you like 2 more questions. I want to ask you artists on the rise that you feel like are going to have a great 2026.
Okay.
And then I want to ask you who's an artist that you really want to like work with. Hey, he done pulled out the notes. Come on now. Come on.
It's interesting that you ask this artist on the rise? That's bro, you know that's so hard for me right now.
I know. And it's one of those things where I feel like I can't ask you that question because you've shown love throughout the interview. So even if you don't mention them, you've already mentioned them.
I'm excited for. There's so many of them on the rise. I'm not gonna lie to you. Trey Johnson and Jalil's the Kid are working on a new project, I heard. So I really love them too, because Trey is like an alien. Both Treys, Dialect Trey and Trey Johnson. I'm really excited to see what they got, what they gonna keep pushing out. So Dialect Trey, Trey Johnson. Honestly, the Black Earth, that side of the world, those are my homies. His Zion and Carr, really excited to see what they do. Really excited for Zion. So Zion, one of my favorite artists. He don't even know that, but he's one of my favorite artists.
Hey, he know now. Hey, come on.
And I tell him, I'm like, most artists go through imposter syndrome, but he really be going through. I'm like, no, you can do whatever, bro. You know what I mean? So I'm excited. He's working on some like poetry stuff this year, so I'm really excited to see that. Youngin, excited for Youngin to drop this music for y'all.
Man,
because that nigga crazy. Journey G's, really excited for the SOS Militia, but Journey G's, for me, he would probably be like, okay, artist on the rise 2026. He the first person that will come to mind, because once you see a Journey G's performance, like ain't nobody else try to do that shit. He gonna make you feel the shit that he's saying. So I'm really excited to have more music come from him. There's so many. Shit, Wayne Gazi been hitting the ground really hard, so I'm really excited. Not the Most High. I'm not gonna list everybody. I'm excited for Jalen, to see what Jalen does anymore. And Jalen did this kind of like really conceptual performance for the Homies dropped a series that we have going, and I'm really excited to see him put all of this stuff on a project. My Genesis is really shocking me right now. I love that. I just saw this one homie, his name A1.
Yeah.
But he really cold, so I'm really excited to see him. Femi Ashola, really excited to see him. Sorry, I'm naming all these people.
No, you good. This is what it's for.
DJ Wise, DJ Creed is probably one of my favorite DJs in the city in terms of like being able to balance reading a crowd, loving the art of vinyl dance. Really excited to see what DJ Zuni does. The Black Room, definitely stay tuned. They're doing a lot of cool work over there. I'm definitely missing some people. And it's excited on the media side for my homies Trash Talk and Bakery to see what they can come up with.
Shout out Bakery Media.
Bro. My girl. My girl's dropping like 2 projects this next year, so I'm really excited to see her be more vulnerable with me and other people on stage. Day.
Oh, where can we find her work?
Oh, yeah. Check her out. Radical Night on Instagram. But Day, D-A-I, all caps. She had a song, I believe it's called Daybreak, on Instagram, on Spotify. Check that out. Most of her shit ain't out. That's where she actually code. She got this one track called Batwoman that she dropping with Kenny Black. He going crazy. Oh, Griot Noy. He ain't even from here. You need to tap into him. He life-changing. Griot Noy. He recorded with Kenny Black. Kenny Black has put me on to a lot of rappers as of late. Haikyuu. Really loving my brother in the way that Haikyuu is growing a little bit more. But yeah, that's something to start.
Indeed.
My homies.
And shit,
Yeah.
Shoot.
Oh, who do I want to work with?
Yeah, come on. We want to hear it.
I'm excited to do more stuff with Fortune House. I do want to curate a little bit more with them and Jasir, because they both invited me to kind of like activate their spaces a little bit more. So I'm excited for that. Sub-Level, I'm looking to do more work with them. We're gonna try and do a wellness day again. I think that was the first event you DJ'd.
I believe so.
I think. Do that a little bit more. I want to work with Daps.
Indeed. Hey.
Cohen and them, because we don't claim the title revolutionary, but I am a black philosopher and a graduate student and PhD student at UIC, really studying black Chicago cultural production and black political theory. So I'm really interested in the avenues that they're using to kind of like get people free in Mama Africa's, stuff like that. So I'm really interested in that. Want to work with them. Project-wise, I'm trying to cook up these beats so that I can work with who I'm thinking of when I'm making beats. Ray is Ray. Journey G's, Youngin, Trey Johnson, Dialect Trey. These are the people that I'm like, Wayne Gazi. These are the people I'm like, I want to create Menace. These are the people I want to make beats for so they can, you know, run with that shit. So I'm excited to produce this year, to be honest, and actually like get beats out there for people to practice with. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And yeah, Lil Tree, Saturn and so we started a new series called Saturn and Jupiter last year. It's kind of a play. She's a Capricorn, I'm a Sagittarius, and it happens around her birthday in January. But I'm really trying to play with these concepts with other people. So we have Saturn and Jupiter. Me and Jalen have the Ven event. So I'm really excited to see where that goes this year. And so many people. I want to work, like I told you, I want to work a little bit more, getting these artists comfortable with scratching, kind of also just giving them some performance boot camp stuff. So I'm working with Fidel. We're trying to do some like mental health / artist development stuff.
Gotcha.
So that's pretty cool too. And then Youngin. Me and Youngin just gonna
y'all finna take over. Y'all ain't gonna try it. Y'all going to take over.
Yeah, try and like play with this sound, figure out how I can bring these samples to make his shit more liver than he already is. And that's pretty much it, bro.
That's fire.
Yeah.
Well, shit, man. Let the people know where to find you. And any last words you want to leave the people with?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Follow me on Instagram at djjohn.west. You can also go to djjohnwest.com if you ever want to look at my photography, check out my video work. My YouTube's on there. And then you also have my photo archive. So definitely check that out, too. And last few words, man, it's getting very dangerous outside. I'm not gonna lie. The government is showing their ass. They showing you time and time and then again. They don't give a fuck about us. So what does that mean? That means lean into your art, lean into your community. Y'all gotta. I feel like Black society has been so dependent on this system for so long. The system that's Walmart. This system, and we gotta learn how to grow our own foods and actually do these things we need to survive for ourselves now. Because I do think there's a big recession coming in like the next 2 or 3 years. It's gonna be way worse than some shit we've ever seen. So we gotta lean on community a little bit more, and try and break down this divide in the artist community. I feel like it's big competition, but honestly, y'all ain't finna be the 1%, so you might as well just like combine your resources and make better shows, make better events, and be professional. I will say my last thought, and I'm gonna leave on this. Please be cognizant of how you navigate interactions with other artists, because you never know who's watching you. So it's like, it's really important. Don't be too cocky, and learn how to communicate and communicate well. Some I move towards this next year is like making artists sign contracts. Because I found artists to be very flaky, showing up late, even if you pay them, you know what I mean? Or not canceling on time, stuff like that. So I'm trying to be professional, and not in the like bougie, fucked up sense, but like treat people well in the artist community. That's what I would say. And that's the last thing I'll kind of like leave you with.
Indeed. Well, us here at South Island Brand, we'll just, you know, again, give our flowers to you. Thank you for sliding through, and we appreciate you, bro.
Appreciate you, bro.
You know it.